Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and I have another prediction video. Man, we've got nonstop with all these events. We went from Survivor Series to Deadline to Saturday night main event. I like having wrestling every weekend. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little spoiled right now, and sad that we're probably gonna break that streak sooner than later. So this card altogether, I think is I'm kind of saying low key looks kind of good. I feel like it's one of those matches that a lot of people either think a lot of stuff is gonna happen or nothing's gonna happen because it's like a lot of people it's like a glorified house show, and I do lean towards that. I kind of feel like it's kind of more of a house show vibes. Like we get some cards that will or matches that will advance storylines, but not enough that like anything's really going to change. I mean, we'll see that in the predictions. Obviously, we're going to have a title change slash new title no matter what with the United States Women's Championship. So that's kind of cool. And this will be such a cool culminating thing. I kind of hope that maybe they make a bigger deal about it, like having that this is a thing that maybe every time Saturday night main event, it's a kind of a title that might get, defended here, or just one of the United States titles. But we're going to jump right into it. I believe this is the card. It's 5 matches. They could easily be something added at the last minute on SmackDown, and if so, I'll have to make another video. I feel like there might be a reason to make it anyways with the women's match, because obviously we'll just start right with it. The Women's United States Championship match is either Bailey or Chelsea Green versus Meacham or Tiffany Stratton. So there's a lot to unpack here, and I guess we'll base it off of who I think out of these 4 women. I think the number one choice, and if I had to just pick somebody, I'm gonna go with. I think it's gonna be Bailey. I think the way that they're gonna do the IC title and the way that they're gonna do this title is going to be by name recognition. So I think the IC title is going to be based off of somebody who has put in the work and has shown that they are main event talent and but never have gotten that ability to be there. Like somebody like Dakota Kai, somebody like um, Lyra Valkyrie, who is kind of more of a rookie, but like still, I think it's going to be somebody who gets that title and defends it fairly often and has that title for a long time. But the U.S. title, I feel like, is one that they're going to try to like put into some strategic storylines and get a lot out of it. So I think a bigger name on it would be a good idea. So let's just kind of jump into where I think Bailey is going to be the winner. Obviously, Bailey is the biggest name out of the 4. I think she by far can carry that title and make it a relevant title, but she just had the WWE Championship not that long ago, so it kind of feels a little funky if she has it, but she's going to be my number one choice. But we're going to go for everybody. So if Bailey wins her heat, I think she wins it. If she loses, obviously she's out. And then Chelsea Green goes in there. Then I think Chelsea Green becomes a huge favorite. She's had a phenomenal year with spots. She's done everything that they've asked. She's been in a trash can. She's done a lot of stuff, and she would be a great holder as the U.S. title holder. I would be excited, and is kind of my sentimental pick here that I would want Chelsea Green to have it. Again, it's kind of hard to tell without having the final 2, but if obviously Chelsea Green wins her heat and then faces anybody on the other side, I think Chelsea Green wins. And then you got Meacham and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, without the Money in the Bank, would be the shoe-in to win this. I have a feeling she shouldn't win it because she's going to have the Money in the Bank. It feels weird and to have both of those accolades at the same time. I'm going to be honest. I just feel like it's really weird to do that. So I hope that's not the case. So I feel like something happens and either Tiffany makes it to the finals and then loses, or somebody takes her out on SmackDown and allows Meacham to advance. Meacham obviously is a workhorse and would be phenomenal to have a championship shot. I just think out of these 4 women, I think it's not exactly the picture that they're showing that she's going to win it. But if she did, I'd be perfectly happy. So, yeah, this would probably need to be a little bit more clarified once the actual SmackDown is done. But I wanted to get the video out before that because all the other matches are pretty much set in stone. So next up we have probably the shoe-in match. I don't see at all anything happening here, which is the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, which is Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Every part of my body wants Io to win here. I want Io to win. everything that I could do to let Io win here, well, I would help Io if I could, because Io is amazing in the ring, and I really feel, me especially, I feel bad because when she had the WWE title, I just kept thinking that it'd be better if she dropped it in certain spots to make the storyline hotter, to make damage control fall apart. There was just so much stuff. But now that my sweet baby Io does not have a championship and it's been a while, I'm just earning for her to have any opportunity to have that championship again. I just sadly don't think it's here because I think the story is still with Rhea Ripley, and I think that's the WrestleMania storyline, and we can't have that derailed here, even if it's temporary. There is no other big story for Io out of here. So like, if you got to go story wise, you have to keep it on Liv Morgan, and unfortunately, I think that's where they're to go. Not that Liv has been a bad champion. I don't want to say it like that. It's just that I really like Io, and I like what she's done this year, and I feel like this would be a very good, you know, chef's kiss to her year by winning, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I think Liv Morgan wins here. Next up, we have the men's heavyweight championship. Now making this a triple threat does definitely make it a little bit more complicated. It's Gunther versus Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Obviously, Finn Balor has cost Damian Priest the last two title opportunities. One cost him the title, and then cost him to try to get the title back. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of hate and a lot of stuff going on here. I think this might low-key be one of the better matches on the card, and I feel like the storyline is still really hot, that you could make a change here. I really do feel like you could make a change. I unfortunately don't think they're going to, though. I think Gunther wins, but I would be pretty down to see Finn Balor win this. I think this would be the story for him to finally cash in and get a championship here. But I don't think it's gonna be. I really don't. I think it's kind of already past due on him being in that picture to get the championship off of Gunther's. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Gunther here. But I'm intrigued that I could be wrong, so I'll be fine with that. Next up is the last match call to added to the card, which is Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. It feels like a drop in a hat that just kind of throw it in there. I'm pretty sure they probably had this being Rollins versus Bronson Reed. I can almost guarantee you that was the match that they were going to put in here. But obviously with the pivot that I think they've had to do with having, I'm pretty sure, at least in my head canon, it was supposed to be Seth Rollins to take that fifth spot. People hated it, so they put CM Punk in there because it made some logical sense. And I think that was the better decision, it seems like. And I think that because of that, then they had, okay, well, eventually when we do CM Punk and Rollins, that'd be add more to the fuel to the fire. And they were going to finish up this Bronson Reed one here, but with him breaking his foot from that jump, I think pretty much just ended it. I mean, there was just not much they could do at that point, and so I think this match got added into it because I think this storyline was something that was coming, but I don't think this is main event worthy or like being on a PLE worthy, especially with the build is only being like about 2 episodes. I do believe this is building more for like Drew McIntyre versus Jay. I think like that's kind of what they're bringing it up on. I would love to say this match is gonna be like kind of one of those crazy long storylines, but I could also be wrong. It could just be a one-off to keep a couple of these guys in the main event type area, which is kind of weird to say main event because of the PLE's main event. I just mean like in the upper middle card to higher, like to the main event scene, that like they could use them around that area. So I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre winning here. I think because he lost that last one against CM Punk, this is where he cashes in on winning one PLE, because he hasn't won that many this year other than the Money in the Bank and the one versus CM Punk. I think it's only two that he's had. I mean, obviously he won last WrestleMania and then got cashed in on, but yeah, I think that's what they're going with, so I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre here. And I feel like it might be one of those where he like destroys Sammy and then it pivots to having some extra stuff happen with Jey Uso maybe getting involved. So we'll go to the main event. I mean, obviously, I think this is the main event of the match. It is going to be Cody Rhodes versus KO. This has had a very good build, and I hate that this is like the area that it is. I feel like it could have definitely cooked a little bit longer and got to a different PLE, but if they're treating it as big of a deal as what it seems like they're doing, I think it could work out here. So, obviously, I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes winning this. I don't think there's much of a difference. I think Kevin Owens' kind of story for the rest of the year is to kind of hover around this, maybe have one more match, and then eventually going after Sammy or somebody else that's in the bloodline, because I think it makes sense. And I think that Sammy versus KO at WrestleMania is a WrestleMania match that is warranted on the card, and I think a lot of people would be happy about it. So that's what I think eventually they're going to be doing. Obviously, I think we're going to have a KO versus Randy Orton match. I think in between that, I think KO pretty much has a good shot to be booked on almost every PLE for the rest of the year. I think there could be a good thing. I think he gets maybe one more Cody Rhodes, one more for returning Randy Orton, and then getting set up into Mania. With all this, so I'm cool with seeing this, but I think no doubt about it, Cody Rhodes wins here. And I think the PLE, honestly, I thought another prediction I wanted to do here is maybe like predict where out of 10 what I think the PLE is going to be. I think it's going to be a 7. I think that's going to be pretty solid for the PLEs here. It might be a little higher rated than most of the PLEs I would have done ahead of time. I'm pumped for a lot of the card. A lot of the card kind of comes down to the U.S. women's title. I think that's the thing I'm most pumped about because it's brand new. There's going to be something new that happens. We're going to see a new champion. We're going to see something fresh. Compared to the rest of the stuff, I don't think we're going to see much of a difference. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And when I do the actual reviewing of the card, I'll tell you what I'd give it out of 10 and see how close we are. So, until next time, this has been Japan, and check out all the rest of the daily wrestling content here. So, I think you'll like a lot of this. Bye, guys.